So, do you want to say a few words about why you're here, and then we'll open it up to whatever questions you might want to go into?
Okay. Yeah. Well, the first thing I'd like to say is what a wonderful and warm welcome we've received in Brunei, quite apart from the excellent work done by the High Commissioner and the High Commission to organise the programme. We've had an extremely warm welcome, much appreciated, from the judiciary, from the Attorney General's office, from legal practitioners, and, if we may say so, from His Majesty. That's given us a wonderful picture of Brunei. The United Kingdom and Brunei have a shared legal heritage and shared experiences of upholding the common law. We very much welcome the assurance that the common law remains the primary basis for law enforcement in Brunei. We've had gratifying and very positive exchanges of views on the modernisation of the justice system and topics such as case management, which really means taking a grip on cases, moving them onwards, getting rid of delays. The judiciary here and we are facing very similar challenges in that regard, and it's striking that we are working to much the same ends and in much the same way. We greatly welcome the exchanges with our colleagues here and look forward to continuing them. We were due to come in April, and we postponed it because of the situation at the time. We have welcomed the assurances from His Majesty and His Tita, and that has of course facilitated the reinstatement of this visit now. We were honoured to have the opportunity of an audience yesterday, and we think the discussion there lays the basis for more and deeper exchanges in the future. And that's a rather short summary. Otherwise, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting people, talking to colleagues. We hope we will continue to cooperate with the Brunei judiciary. I'm sure we will. We hope to extend assistance, if sought, in terms of training and the like. And on all these matters, we welcome the dialogue, sometimes frank, between friends and allies. That's my visit.
Lord
A wonderful programme.
Would you be able to share with us some of the substance of your discussion with His Majesty and other senior legal officials, such as the Attorney General?
I have a feeling that the audience discussion is probably subject to confidence.
It was a private audience,
Yes.
as you'd understand.
Yes. I'm very happy to share discussions with legal figures. That the audience with His Majesty, I would assume, is subject to confidence. I wouldn't wish to say that more than I've said about it. As far as the legal figures go, we discussed the rule of law, upholding it, what judges can do, what practitioners can do. We discussed modernising the system in terms of how you run cases, something I call case management. There I was gratified, as I've said, to discover that we actually face fairly common problems. And I think we're each grappling in a rather similar way to find the solutions. We discussed matters with legal practitioners today, great interest, with a view to making sure that there is confidence in the international investment community in Brunei. We were delighted to hear that there is confidence here in the courts of Brunei, and that is terribly important if you try to boost the economy and attract investment from outside. That's another short summary.
I'm sure that you've discussed with your counterparts the implementation of the Sharia penal code and how would that affect the legal landscape here. Would you perhaps be able to provide some detail on your discussions with the Attorney General or with the Chief Sharia Judge on how that would impact the legal landscape?
I didn't have a discussion with the Chief Sharia Judge, so I believe I met him yesterday because he was sitting in the audience. My discussions have really focused on the common law side. And the essence of what I can say is that the assurances that we've received go to the common law remaining the primary means of law enforcement. That's been the scope or the focus of my discussions with my counterparts here.
And you mentioned that you had to postpone your visit earlier this year in light of the announcement that Sharia would be implemented. In terms of the level of consternation from the British government, how has this affected the relationship between the two countries, especially in the legal sphere?
I can't speak for the British government.
I will do.
Yes.
But let's finish. On the legal side.
On the legal side, it caused us concern. And hence the importance of the assurances in the TITA, which I think have made this possible. If you want to see what I said about it, I gave a speech yesterday, and there's paragraph 4 of the speech, yesterday morning's speech, which we probably have a copy of somewhere. And I'm very happy that you see that. That's precisely what I said about it yesterday.
So on behalf of the UK government, of course we expressed concerns at the time when the Sharia penal code was introduced, and the concerns were about the implications of that on the legal environment and on the lack of clarity and the potential for discrimination and forms of punishment, extreme forms of punishment. So, as Lord Justice West just described, the assurances that His Majesty gave in terms of commitment to ratify the UN Convention Against Torture, to extend the moratorium, to talk explicitly about a moratorium on the death penalty for the first time, and to extend it to cover the Sharia penal code as well as the normal common law penal code, and importantly to respect individual privacies, and that the SPCO was designed to protect public decency rather than to invade any individual privacies. Those were all very important and very significant steps of reassurance given by the government of Brunei. At that time, there was an awful lot of discussion in UK Parliament, and UK ministers answered a lot of questions about the SPCO. The fact, subsequent to that, the fact that His Majesty made the TITA and was very clear about that direction, we're able to reinstate this visit, which is at its heart about reinforcing the links between the two judicial systems, which are, as you said, Peter, the basis of common law, which is something that we both share.
The visit is there to reinforce that. And when you are a friend or an ally, sometimes you have differences of views. It doesn't mean stop talking. That's the way of reinforcing the alliance and the friendship. That's how I see it. But I will make sure you get... I only remember it as, you may already have it, paragraph 4.
The State Judiciary just sent a brief press release. We didn't get any of the remarks that were given.
Okay, well, I'm very happy. It was, I think, on Chatham House rules, but it was a public event. And the remarks in paragraph 4 covered that very point.
The speech was public. It was the afternoon with
The
Chatham
afternoon
House.
was Chatham House, yeah. The speech was public. you're most welcome to it.
I'm just curious because I was speaking with the president of the Law Society earlier, and you spoke that you came here to speak about case management. I don't know if you were aware there's a major trial going on in the High Court at the moment of corruption in the judiciary.
Yes.
And I think that the case management system of the High Court has come under scrutiny. Have you had discussions with your colleagues here about that?
No, I'm aware of the trial. That's about as much as I know, except I do know both the QCs involved in it. And I know there's a judge who's an expatriate judge trying it, but I don't know any more than that about the trial. I mean, it's important and significant that there is accused. I have no knowledge at all of the precise charges or still less of the facts or the merits of the case. But it's obviously important that there is a trial, and that's to the good of the system. I know nothing else about that.
Yeah, Lord Justice, how do you see the development of the judiciary system in Brunei over the years?
Well, I'm very hopeful that it will build on the strengths of the common law. It's very important for any country, it's not just Brunei, that the judicial system is such as to provide confidence for investors from abroad, because they don't come to places where they don't have confidence in the security of their investment. And it's obviously important to citizens of Brunei that they have clarity as to what the law is. So I am very hopeful for the judiciary of Brunei. I don't say that in any way condescendingly. From my discussions, I'm very gratified to see how they are dealing with problems. And it would seem clear that, happily, no one doubts their independence. That's very important. In fact, I can't tell you how important it is. You only realise that when you see countries where that isn't the case. So we look forward to continuing and developing our links.
I think I can say, perhaps in a sort of summary context, one of the things that I think at the end of this visit is, an absolute agreement, emphatic agreement at all levels on the importance of upholding the rule of law, on the importance and significance of a strong and independent judiciary, the importance of a good and a strong law enforcement system. And those are, am I missing one?
No.
There's absolutely key things where there is an absolute alignment of perspective from both our government, our judiciary, and everybody we've spoken to in this country.
And how frequent are the exchanges between the Brunei and UK judiciary or legal professionals?
I think they're about to become more frequent after this. Not as frequent as I would have liked so far, but I very much hope this visit will be a springboard to further exchanges.
A long history of Brunei students studying law in the UK, and we're very glad and proud of that, and we hope that continues as well.
And we hope this serves as a catalyst for further visits both ways.
Lord Justice, I wonder if I could get your view on the court's role in terms of the case that's in the UK Supreme Court at the moment, in terms of riddle on the Prime Minister, the legality of the Prime Minister's decision to prorogue Parliament. Obviously, the courts in Scotland and England have differing opinions. And how do you see the court's role in deciding an important constitutional matter such as this, within the context of the wider political landscape of Brexit?
Well, you're aware, of course, that the Scottish and the English courts reached different views. The English court took the view that the issue was not justiciable, that it was purely political, not a matter for the court. The Scottish court took a different view. There was also a decision in Northern Ireland, which I think was broadly along the lines of the English court's decision. I think it'd be idle for me to express any view on the matter. The Supreme Court will decide it, and they will have to decide whether they think the issue is justiciable. If it is, then they will express a view as to how it should be decided. If it isn't justiciable, that's probably the end of it. But I can't go beyond that because the case is ongoing, and nothing I say would be of any use.
Okay, thank you. And that's it from me.
Your Excellency, speaking on Brunei, Britain bilateral ties, anything new, any new development in enhancing our ties?
This is a very significant visit, the visit that Lord Justice Cross has come on today and this week, so that's very important. There will be more visits. In fact, we have another. Have you made any release yet? No. So we'll have a visit coming very soon into the UK, strengthening all of our ties, including the important defence ties that we have here. At the moment, most of our politicians are focused on Brexit, but that leads me to talk about our new Foreign Secretary who was appointed, and his very first visit overseas was to the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. So Dominic Raab, who is our now Foreign Secretary, serving under Prime Minister Boris Johnson, his first visit overseas was to Bangkok to meet all of ASEAN Foreign Ministers, including Dr. Erwan, which was in July. When was the government appointed?
It was at the end of July.
End of July. So that is a very significant message that relations between our country and this region, and this country in particular, are increasing and deepening because we recognise the importance of our relationship with the Asia-Pacific region.
Hi, Commissioner. In terms of the current political situation in the UK and the approaching deadline for October 31st, how do you think it's affecting the UK's ability to boost trade and economic relations, especially with this part of the world, when there's still a lot of uncertainty about whether the UK will come out of the EU with a deal or no deal, and also the possibility of a general election?
The way in which we will change our trading relationships will depend upon our existing relationship, our new relationship with the EU. So until that relationship has been changed, we remain under EU competence, which means we have no competence to negotiate new trading relations because that's part of the EU, and we are still members of the EU. So only at the point at which we are able to leave, that we actually leave the EU, will be starting to get into negotiations. Having said that, we've made significant progress on a number of different relationships in different countries. So we have transition arrangements ready for the trading relationship that we have as our current privileged relationship as part of the EU, which will roll over when we leave. That is not relevant in Brunei because Brunei has no trading relationship it has no trade agreement or ASEAN indeed. Neither Brunei nor ASEAN as a whole has a trade agreement with the EU. The opportunity when we leave the EU is for that to change, for a relationship between the UK and these countries as a whole. That is an opportunity which is yet to be defined, as we know exactly what our relationship is.
Do you feel the prolonged uncertainty has been damaging to the UK economy?
I think it has an impact on the UK economy, but at the same time, the UK economy is continuing to grow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can we take your photos?
Yeah, let's do that.
Good.